There we go. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So we start again. This is a good thing. This is a trial run. That's why we're doing this tonight. We fixed it, and that's easy. I forgot to turn on the microphone. Piece of cake. Yeah, now you can hear me. I know you can hear me. Well, welcome to HammerFall TV. This is gonna be a new thing that we'll do regularly, I guess. We're gonna have some fun with the HammerFall TV now. But for today, I'm just gonna hang out here playing some guitar. Can you hear this then? Yes, all right. Yes, cool. All right, so I went in the whole spiel already, so I said everything. Let's start from the beginning then. We're just doing a sneak preview of the HammerFall TV today, just to make sure everything works. And now I know to turn on the microphone as well. So from next week, we're going to start doing the real stuff, the more planned. This today is a bit more casual. We're going to hang out. I'm going to play some of my favorite riffs for you. The audio works now, right? Oh yeah, great. My favorite riffs. I have some questions as well, still from last time. And if you have some questions, you can post them down here, and let's see if I can maybe read them and answer them. And yeah, let's hang out for a bit. So I was gonna start with the thing is, when we do a sound check, you get handed the guitar from the guitar tech. He set everything up, of course, make sure things work, so I can just start playing, you know. And when I get the guitar from my guitar tech, almost every time, the input can't be really louder. It's almost distorting. Yep, it's all good. Okay, thank you, Mike Scott. Because somebody else says it's too low, but I don't know. You have to turn up the volume. Does it work okay? See if Peter says anything. Oh yeah, okay. Here's how I say. Yes, indeed. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just making sure that yeah, things are working. Okay, great. So my favorite riff that I always play is just sort of my so to speak my default riff, I guess you could say. And it's not one of HammerFall's riffs. It's just it's something that I've listened to since I was a kid. The riff just speaks to me, and it's this one. Let's see if you guys know which one it is. So I forgot that there's a delay here now, so I'm not going to be able to see your comments until because I have to keep talking. But this was the riff from Love Child by Accept, which I'm sure most of you know that's my one of my absolute favorite bands ever. So this is the riff I always, just when I get handed the guitar, just to try it out, that's what I do. During this last tour, we did some fun stuff. We don't jam a lot, you know. I'm not great at jamming and shit like this, you know. I'm not a musician in that way. Like Pontus can do jams all night long if he wants to. He's great at that. I've never really done it, and I don't like to do it because I like to have things more controlled. Okay, this is a good one. David Viola Chavez. I'm gonna remember that for later. I'm gonna talk about that later. But anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, riffing. So we don't jam a lot, but sometimes I start playing a riff that I feel like playing. Maybe I listened to the song earlier in the day or whatever during. We're talking sound check still now, and David sometimes just tags along, you know, because he knows it. Maybe, you know, it's a Priest riff. Maybe Judas Priest or Accept or whatever it is. And then Pontus maybe knows it also. He sort of goes into it. And I think we even did the first verse of Balls to the Wall once with Joachim on vocals for a couple of times, couple of lines, I guess. That was fun. But so Balls to the Wall is the final song that we have before the actual HammerFall show starts, or the HammerFall intro starts, rather. Then we play Balls to the Wall in the speakers for everybody to hear, just so that everybody's going to be on the same page and get ready to have a fun night on during the HammerFall show. And yes, I'm gonna. Oh, headphones. Is it too loud now? Okay, so we'll fix this to next week. I'm gonna get a microphone next week and hook it up. I don't have one that connects to the computer today, unfortunately. So, okay, audio is good, so sound okay. But I do have to adjust the setting on the heater in here. It's blowing cold wind right at me right now, and I can't take that. As many of you guys know, in the HammerFall, cold wind, yeah, I don't do well with that, especially not when I'm playing guitar. So there we go. Let's see if that's gonna make a difference. Yes. All right. So where were we? Headset. I'm not going to use a headset. That sucks. I'm going to use a microphone. So anyway, yeah, Balls to the Wall, the last song that that plays in the speakers before we go on stage, and it's really cool because that's the song that everybody in the band likes. Everybody in the band grew up with it, and they have a special connection to it, and the audience as well. So when we were right backstage, like right beside the stage, waiting to go on, and you hear however many thousand people in the audience screaming "Balls to the Wall." That's a really, you get really psyched for the show, for sure. Ljudet är faktiskt lågt, okay. So I'm gonna turn the volume up a little bit. Let's see if that makes any difference. Here we go. All right. Now it's in the yellow. I'm just don't want it to distort. Let's try some guitar. Yes, thank you. Just gonna. So, all right. So, where were we? Yes, sound check. So when we do sound check, we always play. Well, we don't always play one song, but we play always the first song we ever is Bloodbound. That's the first song we always do. Because that's a good song to sort of gauge where we're at level wise, and you know with we have in-ears, of course. We have like monitors in the ears, so it's a good way to gauge how we're doing. If mainly Joachim needs to adjust something because the room might be different from the day before and stuff. So we do Bloodbound and fuck. And that goes a little something like this. So that's a song we play till after the second chorus. That's when we always, Joachim goes like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everybody stops playing at the same moment. Yeah, we done this so many times now that we know what's coming. Usually we do sometimes one more song because the sound guy, our front of house, he usually wants to have a little bit more just to make sure that he's got everything set up ready for the show, because that's the last thing we do. But we are one of those bands that don't sound check a lot. Like some bands sound check for hours, or if they can at least, and that's never been HammerFall. We've never done that. We will Bloodbound, yes. So I'm trying to read the comments as I'm talking. That's the hardest part of all this this live streaming, is to communicate with you at the same time I'm trying to talk to the camera, because you guys are, I don't know, 30-40 seconds later than I am, and it's a bit distracting, but I'll try to do it better. Yes, I was going to talk about my guitar as well. The one you see right now, it's a Sandberg, as are all of my guitars at the moment. Sandberg guitars from Germany, and this is actually kind of a prototype. It's not the the main guitar that I used it. Let's see, when was this? Yes, I think it was for the tour in 2015, the European tour. I used it for a couple of songs just because I just got it and I thought it was fun and cool. The body is my own design. I'm not super proud of it, but it's kind of cool. Our guitar tech, Roger, he called it the Rocket because he thought it looked like a rocket. But it also, what I was going to say was it has the Evertune stall in Swedish. I don't remember the English word for it now. This Evertune, and what that does is something I discovered back then. I've never heard of it before, and what it does is it's got a lot of strings in the back, not strings like this, but the strings that you have in beds and stuff, and that are also in normal guitar inside, and it adjusts. So even if I'm not sure how it's tuned now, but yeah, see, look at this. So normally that would go wow 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 wow, and it doesn't because it adjusts to your playing. So for me as a guitar player who, when I play, I like to involuntarily I go with my fingers because I want to a cool thing, and then it would sound whoa 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 because I would press too hard and it would make a noise. And that's when we do recordings in the studio. I'm not using this live anymore because I have the other guitars, but for the studio recordings, this is invaluable for me. I record every album with it, and because it's so easy that when I play, I don't have to redo a lot because I'm out of tune. That happens a lot before. I could play well, but then I was out of tune, so I had to redo the stuff anyway. All right, so let's do another accept riff, and let's leave that for later. One thing I think we did a little bit of a jam on this last tour was this one. And that's of course Up to the Limit with Accept from Metal Heart. So, so let's see, if we have any questions, we can do some of those now. What did we do to deserve a sweet live stream? Hello from Utah. Okay, that's fun. Hi Jay. I can't remember the name before, but somebody asked me if when do you know that a riff is good enough, like when it's finished, so to speak, when it's good enough to be on the album. And that's a good question. It's the same with every riff and all the songs I do. The ones I write my parts is here. It's a gut feeling. If I feel it, if I feel it when I play it or when I listen to it when I record it, that's how I know. Yes, it's as simple as that, really. No, Manuel, no, I will not sing for you right now. I'm sorry. So let's see. What do we do? Yes. In the next couple of weeks, we're gonna do some HammerFall riffing here on HammerFall TV. I'm not gonna tell you more than that, really, but that's what we're gonna be all about, and at least the show that I'm hosting. So I'm not going to play so much HammerFall today. Just a little bit, as the mind strikes, I'll do it. But I'm going to focus on my favorite guitar riffs that other bands have recorded now today. Where are the other guys? Yeah, the other guys are at home in their houses and apartments and wherever where they live. I'm where I live, so we're all in isolation now, as you probably should be. Do you have a bunch of riffs in storage from previous sessions that you go back to? Yeah, when you start writing new material, for sure. That comes from Ryan Maya. Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. Yes, for sure, I do. I have a bunch of songs, actually, a bunch of riffs and a bunch of songs, so that when an album cycle is done, like when I'm finished with recording all that stuff, and when I feel like after a couple of months or however long it may be, when I feel like I'm ready to start writing songs again, I always go back to that folder or whatever it is, that session, and check it out and see if something, if I get a feeling for something, like if I get a good feeling about this riff or whatever whatever song or whatever, sometimes I have just a riff, sometimes I have a riff and maybe a verse or an intro, or sometimes I have half a song ready also. It really depends a lot. But that's how I do it usually. Post Frank Holtman, post my friend. There is also a Bloodbound song where Oscar sings and Joachim is not present out there on the internet. Yeah, well, okay, yes. Yeah, there is. That was a sound check, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, maybe more. I could have been actually, no, they're probably longer. It was probably 8 years ago or something like that. We did a sound check, and I don't know why. I don't think Joachim was there yet, and we started playing it, so I just started singing it or whatever it was. I don't remember actually why it was. Maybe he was filming it. I don't know. But yeah, I sang it. It was fun. Best tour ever with Ham. Well, yeah, I don't know. Last one, latest one, maybe. Ukalovic, yes. Hi. Ever thought about doing a solo album? John I can't read it. Zawadsky asks. So yeah, no, I haven't actually. The thing is, with HammerFall, I get, like, for anybody to want to do a solo album, it would have to be based on the fact that what they want to do is they're not able to express that with their regular band, and I've never felt that. Like I feel everything I want to do, basically I can do with HammerFall. Like I only want to play heavy metal. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So never say never, of course. You should never say never, but it's not in the cards in any time soon, at least. Yes, you see a Kemper in the background, Mike. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, yes, absolutely. We played Kempers since I think 5 years now. At the end of every album recording, because we don't use the Kempers for the recordings, just for the live stuff. But for the live stuff, they are absolutely, we could not live without them, for sure. It's just the best. But for the album recordings, we use like Marshalls and stuff, hook it up, and then put blend stuff together with different cabinets, different amps. Right now, actually, what you're hearing is the little one up top there, the little JVM. It's you can hear it's pretty good. Or not pretty good, it's awesome. Ever since I bought it, that's the only amp I really want to play on here. So all the songs I've written in the last 5 years, I don't remember when I bought it, but all the songs I've written since then have been on that one. So it's a really, really, really good sound, especially coming through a Marshall speaker, of course. But so I was saying that when we have the final guitar sound for the album, we do a profile of that, and that's when the Kemper comes in. So we do a profile of that in the Kemper, sort of clone the sound, I guess you could say, or record the sound so that you get a copy of the sound in the Kemper. Then you transfer that to the rack the rack Kempers that we actually use on stage, and so basically I can have the guitars, the album sound on my guitars every time we play, and that's something that has been missing from the career of HammerFall since day one, because we had no clue how to do that, and not when Pontus came into the band. He had some ideas and it got a lot better, but with the Kemper, it's perfect. I think it's like this combination, Marshall and Kemper, cannot get any better for me. I love the Angle too, but this combination right now is what we're using very much. Do you consider HammerFall power metal? Oh, we're gonna open that one, shall we? It's from Namfrasar or whatever. I can't read that. It's too far away. I got to fix that too for the next time. But no, we have never considered ourselves a power metal band, because power metal, as you today know it, did not exist when HammerFall was formed. The only power metal around back then was the U.S. power metal scene with bands like Sabotage or Iced Earth. I don't remember when they started, but yeah, probably around there as well, like maybe mid '90s or something. Jack Panzer, those kinds of bands. And HammerFall was very, very far removed from those, I thought. So I've always shied away from the term power metal, because what happened at the turn of the millennia was that power metal became a big thing, and everybody wanted to call HammerFall a power metal band, and I always said no, because HammerFall, first of all, like I said, it didn't exist when we started, and second of all, when we started playing, now we're talking early 90s, mid 90s, heavy metal was a term that nobody really, like, people didn't take it seriously. They thought, you heavy metal man, come on, what are you really playing? Because heavy metal at that time was very out of vogue. People thought it was a dead genre. Of course, they were all wrong, but that was the way it was. People had moved on to grunge and the aggressive rhythm-based the stuff that like Machine Head and Pantera and those bands were doing, and so heavy metal was considered a joke, basically. But we didn't think so. We were heavy metal. We proudly embraced the epithet heavy metal. So for us, it was more like we wore it as a badge. It was like our shield. And whenever somebody gave us shit about it, we just fuck you. Heavy metal is what we are. And then when HammerFall started having success and stuff, and people wanted to label our music power metal, I was dead against that, and I've been since that day. Because for me, we were a heavy metal band. We always have been. For me, heavy metal is everything. This is what we do. Power metal is much more narrow, and you can't do as much in there. And I don't think I want to limit myself to that. So that's basically the way I see it, anyway. And I know Americans. A lot of Americans call this power metal because that's how they're taught. But remember, we've been there since day one, or before day one, actually. So for us, it's I don't think the other guys feel as strongly about it, but they all know. I mean, they all agree with it. But for me, it's always been a hot issue, I guess you could say. So when we got that out of the way, let's see if we got some more interesting stuff. So Ryan Meyer asks, do you prefer recording songs with everyone in the room playing together, or with people recording parts in home studios and then putting it together? If you're gonna record everything at the same time, like for example Iron Maiden still do, I think, or at least have been doing the last couple of albums, that requires an intense rehearsal period of about like 6 months or something, where you have to rehearse. Or you have to rehearse 8 times a day, and then record the stuff together. This is not something that we're willing to do or want to do, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think that would sound any better. I think that with today's technique, it's easy to record the drums first and then put the guitars and the bass on top of that, and then add the vocals and whatever else is necessary. I think that's the way to go. Sorry, my voice is a bit cracking up a bit because I'm still sitting in the cold wind. It's not as bad as it was in the beginning. Any Saurus Infernus asks, any thoughts of making a full-fledged online concert and playing rare songs that have not been played live before? No, we don't. We are not having any ideas like that, because that would also require a lot of rehearsing. Because HammerFall started in we recorded our first album 24 years ago. So for us to just go back and plus we have new members and stuff, and even with Joachim and myself, who have been on every album, even we couldn't play a song that we wrote for Renegade or Crimson Thunder that we haven't played before. So no, we're not going to do that. It takes a lot of preparation, and it's just not something we're looking into right now. But what we are looking into is the HammerFall TV thing. That's what we're doing today, and for the foreseeable future, because I guess this pandemic is going to keep us locked up for a while. Yeah, the quality. Yeah, okay. Where's the Greyhound from Adrian Pescatore? So let's see the good lad. It's actually not a lad. It's a lass. But yeah, no, she's in the house. We went for a long walk, about 8 kilometers around a lake here. It's called Delsjön, and with the dogs, of course. And it's our annual Easter walk that we always do in the same place. So if my guess, I'm pretty sure that she's lying on the sofa or in her bed, more like this right now. She's really wasted. She's tired. They get tired from all that. It took like 3 hours or so. So let's see. How many years have you been playing guitar? From something in Cyrillic, which I can't read, but yes, sure. No, I started playing guitar when I was 14. Yes, that's when I actually started playing, 14 years old, and I have been playing since then, obviously, and now I'm, 48? Yes. So, how many years of that? You can do the math yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna play some stuff now because let's see what we can play in gaming. Yeah, well, let's talk about that later. So one of the first songs that HammerFall ever played was this one, and this was like when HammerFall was just an idea in my head. We're talking 93 now. Okay, right. So that's Metal on Metal by Anvil, of course. You know this one. I think you should anyway. It's a good one. But that's actually not what I was going to play. This riff, it's one of my favorite riffs of all time too. It's by our Danish neighbors, pretty amazing. Oops. Yeah, so that's a good one too. Yeah, we'll get to Let the Hammer Fall eventually, Adilson, I promise you, but not today. Like I said, I'm not going to do so much HammerFall riffs today. I'm just trying everything out to make sure it's perfect for the next week when we do the real stuff. Another riff that's pretty interesting, it's an old one, it's from the 70s actually. Basically, one of the few 70s bands that I really like is Judas Priest. The other one being Kiss, of course. But this is an old one. It's Rock Forever from Stained Class, I think. Yeah, it's an old Judas Priest riff. Devil riff guitar, yes. So, hey, hello guys. So, I don't know, we're probably not going to do this for much too long. I love being distracted, no. But, yes, so, okay, so this is, a lot of people have been, like my friends and girlfriends and stuff. No sound, that was in the beginning. And I'm sorry about that, it was a big goof on my part. I forgot to turn it on, the microphone on. But you know that we live and learn, and that's why we do this today, just to make sure that the things work and get the kinks out, I guess. Tango, blues, flamenco? No, okay. So Alejandro Martino asks, tango, blues, flamenco, or just metal do you listen to? Yeah, it's mostly metal for me. I'm a bit one-track minded like that. You know, when I don't know. I mean, I can appreciate other stuff too. Like, then it's mostly that for me. If I appreciate something else, it's a band or an artist. It's not a genre. Like I haven't got caught up in a genre, just a type of band like Depeche Mode, for example. I'm not a big synth music fan or whatever whatever genre they want to be a part of. But I love Depeche Mode. Next time, Star with Sound On. Yes, thank you, Mega Rainbow Cake. Thank you for stating the bleeding obvious. No, yeah, of course I will. Werner Jacobs asks, "Hail Hector, will you make a video game with him?" Well, we talked about it. We tried to get it to work a couple of times. We tried to get some stuff done, Peter. But no, I mean it'll have to be. I don't know. One day maybe. Yeah, we're looking into it, but it's not in the cards right now. Okay, so somebody asked, "Have you heard about the Russian group Aria?" I think I remember those. Yes, Strömblad, obviously from In Flames back then, but we used to play. I mean, I've known him for 30 years now. This year, and he showed me Aria from this probably was like 91 or something like that. He had a Russian copy of Aria, and I was not a huge fan of it back then. He showed me some other stuff that I was a huge fan of, like Pokolgip, for example, from Hungary. That's a really good band. Anyway, let's see. What can we play? Let's play a couple of more riffs, and then we're done. We're out of here for today, I think. What are we gonna play now? Let's see. Yes, indeed, Juan David Ortiz Sandoval. This is South of Heaven by Slayer. So this is another thing that many people might not know about me as a guitar player or a songwriter. I am a huge Slayer fan, and I have been for many, many years. And they were a big influence on me. Even though you can't really hear it in the actual music that we play, the way that they played the guitars together, and I guess they stole most of that from Judas Priest, and I don't think they would object if they heard that, but they are very influenced by Judas Priest as well. So I can hear a lot of stuff like that, and I really, really dig the guitar work from Slayer. So they have been very influential on me, even though you might not hear it in HammerFall's actual music. So yes, I think we're gonna sign off now. It's been 40 minutes already. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We're gonna do this again soon, I promise you. I'll let you know. But before we go, these are our social media, in case you are interested in following us or any of those stuff's going on all the time. But now we're gonna focus a lot on the YouTube channel as well. So for sure, it's gonna be things are gonna happen here for sure. Let's see if I'm forgetting something. Well, yes, I'm going to say too also is that I'm not the only one who's going to be doing this, of course. You know, eventually Joachim and the others are gonna start doing some stuff as well. And I think it'll be really interesting. It'll be a lot of fun, and it's going to be, some parts are going to be interactive as well. So, yeah, stay tuned on the HammerFall YouTube channel for this. All right, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay indoors, stay metal.